All Geeked Up is brought to you by the Inked Geek Studios t-shirt. Get yours today at tiny.cc/igswag. The following radio program you're about to listen to is provided to you, the listener, by Inked Geek Studios. Get this and other great shows at inkedgeekstudios.com. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of All Geeked Up. I am one of your hosts. I am Nate, and I am joined, as always, by Mr. Brandon. Brandon.
I am Brandon.
You are. It's not on the board anymore. With the Movie Busters format now, I have to clear the soundboard off to put movie clips on it.
That's okay. I can just say it.
I am Brandon. I am Groot. Anyway, how are you? Another great week of podcasting has begun. We are here for the first of 3 this weekend.
Oh, I'm all geeked up with nowhere to go. I've had a long day, man. I went to work at 2:15 this morning, and when I got out at 2 o'clock, I sat down and fell asleep for what I thought was going to be a 40-minute nap, and then it was 6:30. No errands done, nothing done. I basically went home to get my iPad and then came here.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, Fridays are always a whirlwind for me, but unlike last week, I actually got a nice nap, so I should be in higher spirits because last week I was a little pissy by the end of the night.
You were. Anyone that's not familiar with that, listen to last week's episode of Mind of a Geek, where I got told off. Chat room, Mr. Rick Fu says, balls, that's early to get up. I went to bed around 2 a.m.
Yeah. I'm looking into a new job, I think, where that's going to be when I get out of work instead of when I go to work. It's, especially doing this, it becomes, I'd rather work my schedule around this. This is a little more fun than delivering milk, you know?
Right.
And if I can find something comparable with the pay, then I'm all for it.
I do not disagree. I mean, who would? Right?
No one would.
Beatmaster80, meep, welcome to the chat room. So, you worked a lot this week, and I had a lot of shit going on this week.
You had a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, so there wasn't a whole lot of anything else going on this week. Like I talked about on the show last week, the new Madden did come out. So it is out today for those that are not getting the GOAT edition. If you're just getting the standard edition of Madden 18, it is out today, being August 25th. If you got the GOAT edition with the greatest quarterback of all time on the front cover, then you got it on Tuesday. So I've been playing it. I'm about 50% win rate against other people online. Not doing too bad. Thoroughly enjoying the Madden Ultimate Team, which is really my focus in Madden. It mixes the card collecting with the gameplay. So it plays well. It looks really good. The load times have definitely improved over last year's, and kicking ass with the Pats. So I can't.
Kicking ass and eating pussy.
Kicking ass with the Pats. So I'm not doing too bad. Other than that, gaming news wise, I haven't really done, or gaming related stuff, I should say, not so much news. I got Destiny 2 pre-ordered. So that is actually right now presently downloading and installing on the Xbox One.
So you get early release for what, a day? Is it a day early?
That I don't know.
It seems to me that when I read it on the NVIDIA interface, whatever the fuck that's called.
The GeForce experience?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
It said if you pre-order, you get a 24-hour early beta, whatever. I don't know.
Cool.
But it seemed like for a pre-order, you should have gotten a week early access, not a day.
Well, you also get access to the beta if you pre-ordered it in time. And then you get access to digital goodies, which will otherwise be unlockable within game, but not until December.
I saw a couple of the rifles and whatnot.
Yeah.
I will say that game looks so much better than the first one, and I am pumped. Especially to have it in the Blizzard
ecosystem.
Yes.
So I will most likely still be getting it for PC down the road, but it's coming out, so it'd be Wednesday the 6th, and then with if that is accurate on consoles as well, the 24-hour early access, so brings it out Tuesday the 5th. So with the PC version, it's like October 17th or like October 26th or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I don't want to wait a month and a half.
No.
Like, so I have all 3 expansions in the original Destiny on Xbox One. Daryl and his brother and a bunch of other people play it there on Xbox One. And so I was like, all right, you know what? I'll get it for Xbox One. I get it a month and a half earlier. It's the same price. It's not like it's that big of a deal. I mean, it either goes from ultra wide to 4K, so it's going to look good either way. And then I don't have to worry about the level of complexity in the graphics and how it will affect the streaming. If it's on Xbox One, I just grab it from the capture card. I'm good.
Right.
So everything kind of works out there. But no, I am excited. I'm looking forward to it. Again, like I said, I probably will end up getting it on PC, especially if they do work hand in hand with something in regards to Blizzard, which they haven't done yet. I would like to see that. I would like to see like a ghost as a non-combat pet in WoW.
I figured that would be the direction they would take, just because why else have it there? I, on the other hand, have basically given up console gaming and will buy it on PC.
Right.
I have both systems, but when do I ever turn them on? Never.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to that. I mean, like the exclusives are there, especially for PlayStation. The exclusives are there, like with your Horizon and things like that. Uncharted, but I mean, that's another gaming thing. That came out Tuesday. I don't give a shit.
Is that with a new character?
It's not the new characters. It's the side characters from the first 3.
Yeah, I never played any of those.
It's like Chloe and Phoebe or Penelope or something.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. No Nathan Drake. If they were going to do a spinoff, they could have done Drake's brother, or they could have done Sully. That would have been really cool. I don't care about you trying to make the side characters main characters. That's not important to me at all. But 4 ended good. I think that's what it was ended well, I should say. That's what it was they came out, they ended 4. Uncharted 4 spoilers for those that didn't finish it. It fast forwards to like X years later, and it's Drake and the reporter whose name I can't remember, Elaine, I think it was, and they're retired, and they have a daughter who's like a teenager now, and they're on their beach house, and it was a good end. It was a good end to a good story. And I guess they just got money hungry because they grabbed 2 characters most people don't care about and tried to make a game out of it. I mean, it's not even a $60 game; it's $40. So I mean, that tells you right there that they don't have a lot of.
We don't have the hype machine behind this one.
Yeah, because Drake's gone.
We're gonna just have you buy it because it's cheaper.
It's Uncharted, yeah. So that's what that came down to. But yeah, that came out. So
that's cool.
That's
cool.
But yeah, no, really quick though. But like I said, back to Destiny. Yeah, no, I would love to see something done with Blizzard again, like the Ghost Pet in WoW or card back in Hearthstone. I would love to start now. See, now that we've got PC Activision games on the Blizzard launcher, I would love to see. Now, I don't know if we're going to, but I would like to see more integration into their other games that it makes sense. Like nothing into the games that have a closed off universe. Like again, pets in WoW, it's one thing. Skins or sprays in StarCraft is one thing. Don't give me characters in Overwatch. Keep Overwatch separate. That has its own story. However, with Heroes of the Storm, like give me Soap from Call of Duty, or give me Crash Bandicoot because that's an Activision property. Or give me a Ghost. I mean, the Ghost would basically be the Protoss probe.
Yeah.
But give me one of the Destiny characters. Give me a Warlock or a Guardian as a playable character in HOTS.
All things I can see them doing.
Start bringing those worlds together. That was the first thing. It's funny because I had this thought way back in the day, which was a Wednesday, by the way.
Back in the day was a Wednesday.
That's the Dane Cook thing.
That segues well into what I'm going to talk about next.
Oh, there we go. So back in the day when this whole merger first happened, this whole buyout first happened, and it became Activision Blizzard. As everybody knows, Activision makes the Guitar Hero games from Guitar Hero 3 on. They bought out. So it was Red Octane and there was another company. It was Red Octane. Oh, Harmonix. How can I forget that? So it was Harmonix and Red Octane that went side by side. Harmonix owned the software. Red Octane owned the hardware. Red Octane used to make the old Gibson Guitar Hero guitars that everyone got familiar with. They split. Activision bought Red Octane. Harmonix went solo, or went with EA, as a matter of fact. And then they made the separate games. So back then, when this merger happened and it was Activision Blizzard, I was like, yes, give me like Thrall in Guitar Hero, like give me like literal battle axes and other medieval weapons from Warcraft in Guitar Hero, like give me playable Warcraft characters in Guitar Hero. Like, I thought that would have been so cool.
Yep. That would be very much like that game that Jack Black was in.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know. I'm right there with you.
That one. Shit.
I mean, that was essentially WoW with heavy metal.
Fuck. What was the name?
Brutal Legend.
Brutal Legend. There you go. Thank you, Beatmaster80. I'm going to give the credit to Beatmaster80 because with the delay, he said it before we said it.
Well,
so
good job. Well done, sir.
So how did the Wednesday tangent?
So Wednesday. So I've been reading a lot. You've been playing a lot of games, as you do. I spent last weekend dog sitting and buying books. I found out that you can buy used books on Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. So I went on a little book buying spree and I bought a stack of books. Yay high. Most of them were Neil Gaiman books. I bought American Gods, Good Omens, Nevermore, The Graveyard Book, and Norse mythology because I'm big into that. I like the show Vikings. If you trace my ancestry back, you can trace me back to
Vikings.
So anyway, Wednesday is named after Odin. It's initially called Woden's Day. So Wednesday is where you get Wednesday from. Kind of like Thursday is Thor's Day, so on and so forth. Yeah, exactly.
Woden's Day.
But anyway,
It's the Joey Lawrence Day. Sorry. Go ahead.
Whoa. Anyway, been doing a lot of reading, and the Wednesday thing made me think of it. And it's just, you've been gaming, I've been reading. So the Norse mythology thing is Neil Gaiman's take on what myths and legends we have from that religion, right? And there's not a lot. So as opposed to like Roman mythology and whatnot, where we kind of know everything about all the gods, with Norse mythology, we don't really know much. We know about Thor, we know about Odin, but all of the supporting characters we don't really know a lot about. So this book is basically his take on all those stories and how he thinks they would all fit together. So very cool. And I also just found out that he wrote Coraline. I had no idea.
I don't know. I am listening to they're saying in the chat Anasi Boys? Anasi Boys?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm currently in the process of listening to American Gods. I thoroughly enjoy it. I have not watched the show yet either.
Love the show.
Is the show good?
Show's really good.
I hear it's very almost porn.
It has its moments. Mad Sweeney is my favorite.
Right.
You should just watch episode 1 and you'll be hooked.
Well, I want to finish the book first.
We'll finish the book, but then watch episode 1. Speaking of TV shows, next Sunday, a couple days from now, is the season finale of Game of Thrones.
Already?
Yeah. Well, the episodes, there's only, 7 or 8?
Oh, Christ, has it been 2 months?
They've shortened the seasons and lengthened the episodes, and then there's the final season coming out in what is potentially the end of 2018 at this point.
So they've removed the length and added girth?
They've added a lot.
They've shortened and fattened?
What they've done is surpassed the books, so now they have bullet points to go on from Martin. So they have to hit certain points in the plot, but what they do in between is basically up to them. So without spoilers, this season has pissed off a lot of people the way they've changed things. They've sped it up and revealed a lot all at once, and a lot happens. So it's satisfying, but at the same time, you're not getting the same quality of show.
Okay.
It's falling more into what would be stereotypical fantasy, as opposed to what Game of Thrones has become known for, is this whole new genre of fantasy where it's not just dragons and wizards and all this craziness.
Right.
Like Tolkien set the standard for fantasy where you have, your Dark Lord and all his minions, and the bad guys always lose, right? Whereas in Game of Thrones, you never know what's going to happen. And it's kind of changing. Like, you get a sense that the characters now are becoming a little invincible. Jon Snow has a lot of brushes with death and things that he shouldn't survive, yet he does. The same thing with Jaime Lannister. But anyway, I'm excited for Sunday's episode and then not excited for like a 2-year wait.
Oh, Christ, really?
Yeah. Also, Defenders, I'm halfway through that. That's really good. It's slow. It's a slow burn in the beginning, but it really picks up. Gets exciting. As soon as you get the first scene where they're all together, they're not happy about being together, but it's so good to see them all fight.
Do you get that first scene in the first episode?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
You're like 4 episodes in.
Okay.
They don't want to get together and like the first 3 episodes, you get all of them, but separately. And it's all just leading toward them ending up in the same place.
So there's no like, yay, we're the defenders.
No, it's like, fuck you, I work alone. But it's pretty good. There's a lot of laughs.
Nice. So it's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist.
The Immortal Iron Fist, yes.
All right. Have we seen Punisher yet?
Not yet. We've seen Elektra. And
Okay.
true to the comics, she's working for the Hand.
The Hand.
Which is great. The Hand, by the way, is where foot soldiers come from in Ninja Turtles. Obviously, it's a spin.
The Hand.
It's an
the
homage
foot.
to the Hand. The foot.
The foot.
The foot.
Oh, let's see here. Yeah, so we got Defenders really picked up around episode 3. So Rick says it was episode 3 was the first fight in the hall with all of them. And Ashley says that next season's Game of Thrones script has apparently been leaked. So you know what?
I don't care. I stay away from spoilers because what's the fun in that?
So let's talk about that for a second, because that is an interesting discussion, and it will give us some shit to talk about. Okay, so one thing that's happened with Game of Thrones this year is every single episode has been leaked, like days prior to the episode.
Well, the
airing.
last 2 episodes definitely were released early. One was released by accident in like Spain. It came out on it came out on HBO.
They just
beforehand.
released it early.
Yeah, for like a day. And then the one before that, yeah, that was leaked and you could download it early. But again, given my schedule and whatnot, I don't care to be spoiled. If I'm going to watch the show, I'm going to watch it in HD. Why would I download a shitty copy?
Right. Well, see, I guess that's where my question went. So, like, so Ashley had said, like, the script has been leaked. Now, reading the script is a little bit different. Like, I really have to really want to know. Like, if you handed me the script to episode 8, I'd read it. Or I'd at least read the end. So I know what was happening.
Right.
And I know that there are people that are that obsessed with Game of Thrones. So, with that, do you look at like an episode being leaked where you are able to access it early, regardless of the quality, right? But it was leaked, so you were able to, let's say the audio quality is perfect, so you can at least hear what's going on. Do you consider that a spoiler, or do you just consider it accessing the content early? Like would you avoid that in the same way that you would avoid, like, say, a script read or like a link bait or clickbait post that might have a spoiler in it? Is watching an earlier leaked episode the same premise?
I think it's all up to personal choice. I wouldn't go watch it, but that all depends on my bias for the show. Game of Thrones, I wouldn't go seek it out. I would wait. Something like Rick and Morty, I would watch it as soon as I could.
Right.
It all comes down to the show, I guess. Walking Dead, I don't know if I care enough about Walking Dead anymore, so I think I'd probably end up waiting out of laziness.
Right.
But Game of Thrones, I don't know. Something about Game of Thrones, I would wait. I would feel like I'm cheapening the experience.
Right.
But Rick and Morty, you've had 2 years between seasons, and as soon as there's an episode out, I'm finding it online and watching it. Fuck Adult Swim, man.
That makes sense.
You know?
So, I mean, I could kind of see that. The last show, so, like, you know, I have my shows I watch. I talked about Goliath a couple of weeks ago on here, and I really enjoyed that. I have been watching, what was that? There was something else I started watching too. But actually, you know what I've done recently is I've gone back and I've started watching Walking Dead again from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at season 1 where Rick comes back and Shane is still there and kind of on the edge. And it's interesting because I've never watched that show a second time. And I watched up until where they killed the governor. So either you or probably Ashley can tell us exactly when that was. But it's interesting going back and watching it again, knowing where everything goes. Do you know what I mean? Like, knowing who's going to survive. And also the characters, like, man, fuck, does Glenn look young?
Yeah.
In season 1.
When he's like pizza boy with his baseball shirt on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could go back and rewatch all of that. That's a slog of a show. That's a lot of time to put in.
I like I've mentioned before, I typically only watch stuff when I'm laying down to fall asleep, and I'll watch an episode.
Yeah, me too.
So, I mean, I don't mind it if there's nothing else that I really want to. Designated Survivor Season 2 comes out here pretty soon.
I'm glad that got picked up for another season.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed the first one.
I started watching Blood Drive and The Mist and Preacher, which I've talked about on here before.
Right.
Preacher is consistently excellent. Blood Drive is like a grindhouse B-movie show on Sci-Fi, but there's no holds barred. It must be on late. I always watch it on demand, but they swear, there's nudity, and it's gory as shit, and it's excellent.
And what channel is it part of?
Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi.
So basically, you're in this dystopia in the future, and you're racing across the country, and it's all these different people racing point to point. Now it's called Blood Drive because the cars all run on blood.
Interesting.
You basically have to kill people along the way and feed the blood to the car. It's a ridiculous show. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's good, but it's definitely a cheap thrill.
Right.
And The Mist is based on Stephen King's book The Mist, loosely. Like it's as if they're in a different town and they have all new characters. It's got nothing to do with the actual story, just the subject matter. But it's pretty good. It's zombie. It's a zombie show without the zombies. I mean, there's a group that's trapped in a mall, and what The Mist is basically a thin spot between realities. So monsters are coming out of the ether, and they feed on your fear. So as soon as you go out into the mist, your worst fears come true. So as long as you're inside and you have the windows closed, you're safe. But yeah, it's essentially a zombie show with no zombies.
Interesting.
Yeah. So much like Walking Dead, it bases itself around all the characters.
Right.
And the zombies become an afterthought.
Yeah, they do. It's interesting because there was that back and forth for a while where like some characters some episodes would be all about the zombies, and then like there's episodes with like a zombie in it.
Yeah, now they just show up to move the plot along. We don't really worry about zombies anymore, but here they are conveniently.
So that brings up an interesting thought. Now this is just kind of clicking with me. Maybe this is something that's already been discussed. If it has, you might be able to chime in again. Ashley, our local Walking Dead expert, might be. Could it be that the title isn't talking about the zombies? Could it be that like these people, their lives have been
I think so.
destroyed? Their lives are dead. They are the Walking Dead.
I mean, they're doomed to die sooner or later, as we've seen.
Right.
I mean, you might as well be like Lost. They could just be in purgatory the whole time. We're just here.
That was Ashley says, boom. Nate just went deep.
She wants to eat the dick.
Yeah, no. I hope, I don't know, getting back into it. I like the characters. I mean, you know, it's nice to see Carl before he became annoying as shit.
When was that?
When he was just a little kid.
He wasn't annoying
He
then?
wasn't as bad as he was when he became like deputy hat wearing Carl.
I seem to recall him not talking too much.
Coral.
You can't protect him, Rick. I miss him. I didn't really like him, but I miss him just the same.
I liked Shane.
I'm excited to see what he does with Punisher in his own show. It should be good.
Good question. When was that? He's always been annoying. Yeah, but he wasn't as bad. Like,
I would equate him to Clara in Doctor Who now. Like, Clara ended up trying to be the Doctor. So, as an angsty teenager, he's basically trying to be Rick and, like, defy everybody and just do his own thing. I'm gonna go do what I want. Oh, speaking of which, where the hell's that girl that he was all in love with that I thought was one of the wolves and then she wasn't? Anybody know?
wait, what are we back to talking about?
Walking Dead.
Who's one of the wolves?
Yeah, that's further along in the show. But the wolves came, and there was that girl who showed up in Alexandria, and she was all hanging out with that other dude, and then that kid got killed after his father got killed. Is this vague storyline ringing any bells? Yeah, Enid. Thank you. So what's going on with her? Is she a good guy, bad guy? We don't know really. Well, all right then. That was really the payoff I was looking for. Thank you. Thanks for that. That went nowhere.
So the big villain right now is still what's his face, right? The guy that killed Glenn. Negan. So
Negan, played by Henry Dean Morgan, the comedian, and Father Winchester from Supernatural.
Which I have not seen.
Oh, I love Supernatural.
You've talked about it several times. That's a show I should watch.
I haven't watched the season yet. I've just been waiting and waiting. I'm going to binge it at some point, but I haven't done it yet.
Just haven't quite gotten to it, huh?
No, I haven't gone deep on that show yet.
Have not gone deep on that show.
I had to come up for air.
Jesus. We got Supernatural kicks ass.
Who said that?
Beatmaster 80.
That's right.
Supernatural, isn't that done by who are the behind the scenes on that? Who's
The show?
the showrunners? Yeah.
I have no idea. I mean, there was a point
Which
where I
one-
knew, but I'm a lot less invested in that show now.
Which one was the one that God as a writer? Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he ends up, you think he's a prophet, but he ends up being God.
So, which was the show that was done by Jonathan Carter?
X-Files?
Yeah,
That was Chris Carter.
Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Which
That's X-Files.
No. But there was one that after him. He went from X-Files to something else.
He did X-Files, and then he did, oh man, what was the name of that show? You had to ask me. I don't know.
See, I thought
remember.
it's not Supernatural.
No. Was he involved in Fringe?
I don't think so. Millennium? No.
He was involved in Millennium, but that show wasn't very long-lived.
No, yeah, that's not the one I was talking about.
There was another one, too. I just don't remember the name of it. All I can think of is the promo for it, the commercial, where they're like, it looks like people walking on the moon.
I'm not sure.
To IMDb we go.
There you go. Millennium was good while it was on.
Millennium had a great Halloween episode where it's these like 4 demons hanging out at a coffee shop reminiscing about how they hurt people. And this one guy like lived his whole life with this woman as his wife, fell in love with her and everything, and then at the end he's like, I hate you, you're a fat pig. And she kills herself in the bathtub, and he's kind of like lamenting it over his coffee. I downloaded it. It's the only episode of Millennium I have.
Getting Wong and Morgan made Millennium a good team.
Touche.
So that works. Well, while you're looking that up,
Lance Henriksen was in Millennium. I think that's like the only TV he's done.
While you're looking that up, we did have Gamescom this weekend, which
Xbox.
was a big deal. Are you whispering Xbox for a reason? Yeah. So we have.
Yeah, Chris Carter was a writer on Millennium, which I knew. Oh,
What else was he involved in?
A lot of shit.
What came
X-Files.
right after X-Files?
Oh, there was the Lone Gunman spinoff, Millennium. X-Files. We're back in 87.
Nothing.
The Lone Gunman, Harsh Realm, Millennium.
Maybe it was Millennium.
Man, I could have swore there was another show, though.
For some reason, I thought it was Supernatural. Who are the Supernatural people? What are they responsible for prior to Supernatural?
Oh, Eric Kripke. Why did I not know that? I should have known that. And Robert Singer.
Kripke makes me think of Big Bang Theory.
Man, I should have known that right off the bat. What the hell's the matter with me?
I have no idea. Anyway, not important. So yeah, so as I was saying, no, we had Gamescom that was here and gone over the weekend, and there was a lot of big stuff announced. We've got some World of Warcraft. We got some teaser news for 7.3, which is out on Tuesday. We've got more insight into the new map and the new hero and the new skins for Heroes of the Storm. We're getting Kel'Thuzad finally.
What is that?
He is the Lich. He is basically the Lich King's major domo. Yeah, so we are getting him as a playable character in Heroes of the Storm. We have Dreadlord Jaina as a skin coming in. Jaina looks awesome as a Dreadlord, so I hope to kind of get better with her. I played with her as a character a while back, and then there were a couple major patches that changed the way she played for a while, so I haven't really done much since. I'm still kind of a Sylvanas main. And then Chris Carter wrote The Sex Files. I wonder if he got listed as a writer on it just because, like, it was part of his... I wonder if that was part of the agreement for using the material for a parody.
He was a sexecutive producer.
Sexecutive producer. There you go. Yeah, so, and then we got some Overwatch news. Now, this excites me. I haven't played it a lot lately. I got back into it lately. I got my placement matches for competitive done for the season that's ending in like 2 days. So now I don't remember if this was a part of Gamescom or if it was something that was just announced around the same time. But Mercy's ult is getting, Mercy's basically getting reworked in some ways. So for a while, since its inception, Mercy's ult. Mercy's a healer in Overwatch. If you're not familiar, her ult. She's probably one of my favorite characters to play. Her and this guy that's on my shirt here, and her ult was you would resurrect all the dead players around you within a certain range. It doesn't matter if it was one or the whole team, but you would get your major res. And then that was good, but it forced some gameplay that people weren't happy with, that the developers weren't happy with. Essentially what you would do is you'd get your res, you'd get your ultimate, and you would just stop healing and go hide in a corner and wait for the team to die. And then go mass res everybody. So it kind of took Mercy out of the battle a little bit. People didn't like that. And then there's also other people who play kind of a battle Mercy, because along with having your staff, which can heal or power up, you also have a pistol. So people would battle Mercy, things like that. So now what they have done is they've given the Resurrect as an ability. It's always single target, and it comes with a 30-second cooldown. So that's kind of cool, because that removes another piece of the challenge with Mercy's ult. Is if you have a dead teammate and you're trying to capture a point or stop the payload if you're on defense or whatever the case may be, very rarely do you want to use your ult for just one person. Like, you want to let more people die. This way, if it's a consistent fight with battles going back and forth, then you can just use your res every 30 seconds. You don't have to worry about blowing the ult on one person, which is nice. So now the new ult, it's got like this Valkyrie thing. It's you can fly, and when you're flying, like, all of your abilities are powered up and your range is increased. So it's going to bring some really interesting elements to the battle Mercy. Also, it's something that Mercy players have kind of done if you team up Mercy and Pharah, because the Mercy will use her teleport ability to teleport to the Pharah, and then she'll float around. Pharah has a jetpack, so it's kind of been something that's gone back and forth. So it's cool to have that element brought into just Mercy alone. But as somebody who plays Mercy a lot, actually I've played her in the majority of the competitive matches that I've played the last couple nights. I'm really excited to see the changes and see what it brings to that element of gameplay.
Wow, that was a lot of talk about alts and reses, and I thought of Indians and alternate things and didn't know what was going on. Super interesting, though. Mercy me. Shit. Maybe someday I'll play Overwatch.
You should. You should buy it and play it. I think I found my niche, because I was kind of falling out of it for a little bit. Yeah. Like, we have the group that plays, right? So we have, friend of the studio and host on the studio now, Amy Frost, who is my co-host on Indie Case Files, as well as the host with JF over at the Overcast, and then JF, who is very well known around the network and has been on a handful of our shows several times. So they have their Overwatch podcast called the Overcast that they do, and that was kind of like the routine. Like, people would get together, we used to play we'd play a lot on Saturday nights. Like, a big group of us would get together and play. But I kind of fell out of the fun of Overwatch. Like, it was kind of losing its draw. It was losing its oomph, if you will. So I went on the other night, and I went and did competitive, which I've done very, very little of. In Overwatch, in the entire time Overwatch has had competitive, I have done very, very little. In the past 2 nights, I've done 10, actually 11 competitive matches. You need 10 to do your placements. You get a rank, you get like a spray and a player icon, stuff like that for the season, and then you do competitive proper. You queue by yourself or up to 5 people, or up to 5 friends, so 6 total. And that was a lot of fun. It adds a different element to it. People play a little bit harder. People pick a little bit better if it's being done properly. Like, teams are built to be in sync with each other a little bit more. You get, you have the option of getting into voice chat with people, because Overwatch has the in-game voice chat, which every game should have. Mm-hmm. So you can get in and you can chat with your teammates, which is really nice. It's a feature I would love to see brought to Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm, especially with Hero League, where you have to solo queue, it would be amazing if that game had a built-in voice chat. So I played competitive, and I really think that's my draw. Like, that was fun. Again, people played harder. Like, there's several rounds and round after round, and like, you are earning. And the thing is you don't. Okay, so in one of the Overwatch gameplay types, it's basically an escort mission. You have to escort the payload, right? So you escort to a point, and then there's several walls, right? So you get to it. You have a certain amount of time to get to wall A, and then you get to wall A, and you get more time, and then you get to wall B, and et cetera, so on and so forth. So typically, you would one team's on defense, one team's on attack. You get to the end of it, and then that ends that round. Like you go in and you start a new match or whatever. But with competitive, that's round 1. Now round 2, the team that was defending has a chance to do the same, and they have to either push the payload further, or if the other team had got the payload delivered properly, they have to push it the whole way more quickly. So it adds another level of competitiveness to the game. And I don't know, I had more fun playing the last 2 nights playing competitive than I have playing in a while.
Right, but it's no surprise for you. I mean, look at you. You play hardcore on Diablo, all these things. You need it to matter when you play. If you're just playing for fun, that's not going to work out for you in the long run.
Yeah, that's why single-player games don't really hold me that much.
Right. So, it's no mystery for those of us that know Nate. He needs it to be hardcore.
I need it hard.
Mm-hmm. Deep. He needs it to matter.
Fast.
He needs there to be stakes. Speaking of steaks, I need some tips. Just the tips.
Some tips?
I'm a little hungry. I haven't eaten yet today.
We have a fucking really active chat room tonight.
I know it. I'm over here watching it. It's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Also a lot of unfamiliar names. So welcome to
now
the
is
chat
a
room.
good time for a commercial about T-shirts.
You have yours, but the mic's blocking a chunk of it. So Brandon, if he wants the model, is wearing one of our new IG Studios T-shirts. He's got the red Play logo on the front there. And then the ink. Yeah. Man, you guys listening to the podcast are missing something. So if you like that shirt and you'd like to get one and help support the show, then go to tiny.cc/IG swag. There's that shirt. There's white versions of that shirt. So the black, so the print is in white. And there's several other versions up there.
There's all kinds.
Yeah, there's a specific all Geek'd Up shirt.
Something for everyone.
There's a Mind of a Geek shirt. If you've got kids, there's Inked Geek Kids. We have a onesie, a toddler shirt, as well as a kid shirt. So there's a whole bunch of stuff up there. So, but yeah, that would be cool, and we would appreciate it. And a handful of people have already bought some stuff off there. So you guys totally rock, and thanks. And if you do buy it, tweet at us, either the show or the studio. It doesn't matter. Tweet at us or post a comment on one of our Facebook pages with you wearing the shirt and
nothing else.
I don't know.
Just the shirt.
Just the shirt. And it will and we'll come up with something for that. We'll give you like a discount code for another shirt or something like that, because we're going to introduce new shirts. We have a couple of our in-house people working on different designs and stuff. I know Hugo's got some ideas he's told me about and whatnot. So yeah, add some more stuff to that.
Very exciting.
Indeed.
I am all for T-shirts.
T-shirts are cool. I like them. Look, there's Hugo.
Yes. Hugo's been here for
I want to see a kid with knuckle tattoos that say "fuck naps." Rick, you are awesome.
Someone do a cartoon of me saying that.
I totally want to get like temporary tattoos for X now and have them just be letters so I can put "fuck naps" across his knuckles.
Fuck naps, dada. Halloween. That'll be fun. Cool. I think we've hit the wall.
Have we?
Seems like it.
I was trying to think if there was anything else. I don't think I didn't pay attention to anything not Blizzard at Gamescom. So I don't know what is up there. I know we have BlizzCon in about 2 months. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, about 3 months. Patriots lead 24/7 at halftime.
I see that.
Finally, they'll be one. So that make them 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 in the preseason.
I don't know. I haven't paid attention.
Yeah, I know.
Basically, anything I've talked about is all I've done other than.
I know
sleep.
I know they lost. Oh, Amy says she has printable temporary tattoo paper.
Boom.
There we go. I know it's just preseason. It doesn't matter. And like anybody else said, like if you think that they're gonna show their hand in preseason, you're dumb.
What's the word on the Giants?
No one cares.
Oh, you sure? They might be going places this year.
Why? Because they're doing good in preseason?
I don't know. I hear they have weapons. I hear there's things changing there.
They're the only team that's beaten the Patriots.
I know.
They're the only team that's beaten the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So, but
So we owe them one.
We do. I don't know if I want to play them in the Super Bowl again. Like, just keep up everybody else.
There was a time where I watched football pretty religiously, and now, maybe someday when I'm legitimately alive again.
It's gotten to the point now where we've been spoiled as Patriots fans.
Yeah, but you remember back when we were kids, that was not the case.
No. We had Parcells and Bledsoe, and shit sucked because we had shitty uniforms. But yeah, no, things were a lot different.
I had a Patriots starter jacket.
And so did I, the big fucking puffy one.
Yep.
I still
the
got it.
pullover one.
I think it's down my grandmother's house.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, mine wasn't pullover. It was zip up. I don't like pullovers.
I didn't like it once I had it, but the problem was the elastic waistband. I'm all for it. It's basically a hoodie as a winter jacket. It had the pouch and everything.
It's like a hoodie windbreaker winter jacket
combo. It was the starter jackets that like everybody had when I was a kid.
Before they became a Walmart brand.
Yeah, basically. How the fuck did that happen? But it had that elastic waist.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated it. Because every time you move, it would just go up to your titties, and I didn't like that shit at all. But yeah, I don't know how starter went so far downhill. They used to be the thing, and now it's... What, Under Armour would be the replacement for that?
Yeah.
What else is there?
I mean, there's
Nike always.
Nike makes the jerseys now.
Do they?
It was Reebok for a while. Yeah, Nike
Reebok.
makes the jerseys, and the Nike jerseys are so much better than the Reebok ones. I thoroughly enjoy them. But I don't know. I mean, even then, like I've got Under Armour is like the official. They're the ones, and my fucking god, is their shit expensive.
Yeah.
So it's great though. I mean, you pay for what you get. It's high quality stuff.
I do have some, but again,
I have an Under Armour like breathable windbreaker hoodie. That I use, and it's
basically all I have is work related stuff for when I'm out there in the winter.
Right.
But outside of that, I mean, no.
Right. Look, we started talking about sports and apparel. I think we are done with this episode.
I know, right? There's no football in our logo. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Right. If you are watching live, go ahead and stick around. We will keep the feed up. Actually, we got about 45 minutes. Maybe I'll kill the feed this time. No, we'll see. I'll keep it up. People like to chat. Yeah. We'll be here and be around. Yeah. But yeah, I'll keep the feed up. In about 40 minutes or so, we have Gregor Sprague from Else Nerds coming on Mind of a Geek. So if you are watching live, be sure to check that out. And I will mention really quick, because it's not in the outro cut. If you are listening to several of our shows, don't forget, a couple weeks ago, we did introduce the IG Studios mega feed. You can find it wherever your podcasts are found. So you just go ahead and search IG Studios, and the mega feed will give you access to all of our shows, which is this show, Mind of a Geek, Movie Busters, as well as the newly started Indie Case Files, and then also any potential guest spots of any of our studio hosts. So like Amy Frost and myself were on Else Nerds last Wednesday, and that episode is on the mega feed. So definitely do that. As Hugo says, join the Inked Geek gaming community on Twitch if you are a gamer or a live streamer in any way. There's a whole bunch of us that will get on there and play whatever. I've been doing a lot of Madden lately, where that just came out, and then some Overwatch and some HOTS, and then we've got Destiny 2 coming out in about a week and a half. So those channels are sure to pick up and go pretty strong. But other than that, you can catch All Geeked Up live every Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/InkedGeekStudios. Contact us on Twitter, Facebook, or via email. All of those links are provided in the show notes. If you enjoy the show and would like to help support All Geeked Up and Inked Geek Studios, please consider going to patreon.com/IG-Studios. As little as $1 a month helps support this and other great shows. For Brandon, for myself, and for the rest of IG Studios, thank you all very much for listening, and we will see you next week. You've been listening to an Inked Geek Studios podcast. For this and other great shows, go to inkedgeekstudios.com.